Okay, I don't know who this is for. So many of you are standing for your marriage and you are praying for restoration of your marriage. And I want to give you a different perspective, some food for thought. Restoration pretty much means returning something or restoring something back to its original state. So here's my question. Do you really want God to restore your marriage back to its original state? I ask that question because so many marriages were built on sand. So many marriages were not built on a firm foundation of Jesus Christ. You know what happens when something is built to sand? When the waters come, when the storms come, it washes it away. So many marriages were built based off of love. And when the love stopped, or someone decided they didn't want to be in love anymore, or they fell out of love, then guess what? The marriage crumbled. I'm here to tell you that if you're going to ask the Lord to do anything with your marriage, those of you who know your marriage was not built on a firm foundation, then ask the Lord to give you something new. Let me ask you this. Did your marriage glorify God? When people saw your marriage, were they like, wow, these two people are God? When Christians saw your marriage, they think that these two people are godly people and I want my marriage to look like that. Was your marriage reflective of the world? Were you and your husband doing things, watching things, listening to things that had nothing to do with God? That if Jesus was in the room, he'd be like this, or should I say, you probably wouldn't even be watching it all together. Like, what did your marriage look like? So many of you, so many of us, right? I'm not excluded. So many marriages were based off of dysfunction and it was held together by the glue of love. So when love left, the marriage fell. So my advice to you is that if you knew that your marriage was not built on a firm foundation of Jesus Christ, if you know that your marriage was not glorifying our God, then don't ask for a restoration. Ask for God to do something new. Ask for God to build something new, something that he is proud of, something that he is happy with, something that glorifies him. There's a lot of work to be done because so many of us were lukewarm Christians that married other lukewarm Christians, and you were living a lukewarm marriage in this world. As you know, that doesn't work. So what you're praying for is for your husband to become a godly husband. And if you're a husband, praying for your wife to have an encounter with the Lord and for her to end up being a godly wife. And you have work to do. So there needs to be work inside of you to make you a godly spouse. And the two of you together can come together and raise godly children. And if your children are already grown, then you'll be able to help with the grandchildren. Okay? Because so many of us raised kids and didn't necessarily raise our kids to know the Lord. Might have gone to church, but didn't raise our kids to know the Lord. And so now that you do know the Lord, because you're chasing after Jesus, you get to pour into your grandchildren. Okay? But my point is, do not ask for restoration if you know that that house was built on sand. If you know that your marriage did not have a solid foundation in Jesus Christ, don't ask for the restoration. Ask for God to do something new, to give you new wine to put in your new wineskin. Just saying. Also, for those of you that are struggling in your marriage, you are standing in the gap, there's been a battle, there's a whole lot of stuff going on in your marriage, and you don't know how to fight for it. You don't know what to do because many of us were never taught how to fight. I learned how to fight. Praise the Lord. I learned how to fight, right? If you are interested in that, I put together a course or a program that is just for you. It's called Standing in the Gap for Your Marriage and During Chaos When There's Been Infidelity. Now, even though it's entitled for infidelity, because that's the number one thing that wives come to me about. I'm a wife coach. I'm a Christian wife coach. That's the number one thing that's happening right now is infidelity. I know there are other issues as well. Some of your husbands have addiction. It could be gambling. It could be corn. It could be OnlyFans. It could be alcohol. It could be weed. It could be drugs. Some husbands are, or some spouses are, this narcissistic. That keeps getting used. Some husbands are not believers, right? You want to stand in the gap for your marriage. You want to know how to do it. You need to get this course. It's not just for infidelity, but if you're going through infidelity, you definitely need to get this course. But anyone can get it. Anyone can glean from it if you are standing in the gap for your marriage. So it's in my standout store/wife up. And for those of you that are new to my channel, WYFE, it stands for Wives Yoke for Eternity. You'll see it over here somewhere. Okay. And that is, We are wives who say, you know what, we're not going to allow the enemy to kill, steal, and destroy our marriages. We're going to fight him. We know how to fight. We know how to stand in the gap for our marriages, and we know that the ultimate goal is to have our marriages glorify the Lord. So if you want to know how to fight, I'm your girl. Also, the first 20 people to buy this course gets a free session with me. I'm setting aside time next week, next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for a free 1 hour session, just so we can chat. If you just want some coaching, just want somebody to talk to, you just need a sounding board, just let me know what's going on in your marriage and what you're fighting for so I can pour into you and give you some encouragement. Just saying. Bye for now.